Spring 2025 is just around the corner, and with it comes the promise of warmer days and blooming flowers. As we shake off the last vestiges of winter, weather forecasters are hard at work, analyzing atmospheric patterns and predicting what spring might have in store. Early indications suggest that much of Europe can expect a warmer than average spring, with high-pressure systems dominating the continent. This means we're likely to see more sunshine, less rainfall, and a welcome break from the winter chill. So, dust off those sunglasses, and let's delve deeper into the specifics of Europe's spring 2025 weather outlook. Across much of Europe, temperatures are projected to be warmer than usual for this time of year. This means that countries accustomed to mild springs, such as France, Spain, and Italy, can expect even warmer temperatures, with daytime highs frequently reaching the low 20s Celsius. Northern European countries like the UK, Germany, and Scandinavia are also likely to experience warmer than average temperatures, although not as high as their southern counterparts. These warmer temperatures could lead to an early start to the growing season for many plants and crops, bringing a welcome burst of color and life to the continent. While spring is often associated with rainfall, the high-pressure systems predicted for spring 2025 suggest that precipitation levels may be lower than average across many parts of Europe. High-pressure systems typically bring stable and dry weather, which means that many regions might see less rain than they usually do during this season. This shift in weather patterns could have various implications for different sectors, especially agriculture and water management. This doesn't necessarily mean a complete absence of rain, but rather a shift towards drier conditions, with fewer rainy days and longer stretches of sunshine. For those who enjoy outdoor activities, this could be a welcome change, offering more opportunities to spend time outside without the interruption of rain. However, it's important to note that even with fewer rainy days, the occasional shower or storm can still occur, particularly in regions that are more prone to sudden weather changes. However, some areas, particularly in northwestern Europe, may still experience periods of significant rainfall, as weather systems moving in from the Atlantic Ocean can bring unpredictable weather patterns. These regions might see a mix of dry spells and heavy rain, making it challenging to predict the exact weather conditions on a day-to-day basis. The influence of the Atlantic Ocean means that northwestern Europe could still face sudden downpours and stormy weather, even if the overall trend is towards drier conditions. Overall, though, the trend for spring 2025 is leaning towards drier conditions, which could impact agriculture and water resources in some areas. Farmers might need to adapt their practices to cope with the reduced rainfall, possibly relying more on irrigation systems to ensure their crops receive enough water. Additionally, lower water levels in rivers and reservoirs could affect not only agriculture, but also drinking water supplies and hydroelectric power generation. As we move into spring 2025, it will be crucial to monitor these weather patterns closely and prepare for the potential challenges that drier conditions may bring. As temperatures rise and days grow longer, snowfall is expected to be minimal across most of Europe during spring 2025. The warmer temperatures will likely melt away any remaining snowpack in mountainous regions, leading to increased water flow in rivers and streams. However, some higher altitude areas, particularly in the Alps and Pyrenees Mountains, may still experience occasional snowfall, especially in the early part of spring. These snowfall events are unlikely to be significant, though, and should not pose any major disruptions to travel or daily life. Section 5. La Niña's limited influence, a minor player in Europe's spring. La Niña, the periodic cooling of the central and eastern tropical Pacific Ocean, can have far-reaching impacts on global weather patterns. However, for Europe, La Niña's influence during spring 2025 is expected to be minimal. This is because the atmospheric teleconnections, or links, between La Niña and European weather are generally weak during the spring months. Therefore, while La Niña may influence weather patterns in other parts of the world, its impact on Europe's spring 2025 weather is likely to be negligible. Section 6. The Polar Vortex, a swirling force in spring's atmospheric dance. The polar vortex, a large area of low pressure and cold air that circulates around the Arctic, can sometimes influence weather patterns in Europe, even during spring. This swirling mass of frigid air is a key player in the atmospheric dance that dictates our weather. It forms a semi-permanent feature in the stratosphere, typically centered over the poles, and its strength and position can vary significantly from year to year. If the polar vortex weakens or splits, it can allow cold Arctic air to plunge southwards, bringing unseasonably cold temperatures and even snowfall to parts of Europe. This phenomenon can disrupt the usual springtime warmth, leading to unexpected cold snaps that can affect agriculture, travel, and daily life. The splitting of the vortex is often triggered by sudden stratospheric warming events, where temperatures in the stratosphere rise rapidly, disturbing the polar vortex and causing it to fragment. However, for spring 2025, current forecasts suggest that the polar vortex is likely to remain relatively stable, reducing the chances of any significant cold air outbreaks. This stability means that Europe can expect more typical spring weather patterns, with gradual warming and fewer disruptions from Arctic air masses. Meteorologists use a variety of tools and models to predict the behavior of the polar vortex, and while these forecasts are generally reliable, the atmosphere can always surprise us. Nevertheless, it's always a good idea to keep an eye on the polar vortex's behavior, as it can be unpredictable at times. Even with advanced forecasting techniques, the polar vortex can still throw a curveball, leading to sudden changes in weather patterns. Staying informed and prepared for potential shifts in the vortex can help mitigate the impacts of any unexpected cold spells. As we continue to study and understand this powerful atmospheric feature, we gain better insights into its influence on our climate and weather. Section 7. Preparing for Spring 2025. What to expect and how to adapt. Overall, spring 2025 is shaping up to be a warmer and drier than average season for much of Europe. This trend is consistent with the ongoing changes in our climate patterns, which have been showing a gradual increase in temperatures and a shift in precipitation patterns over the past few decades. While this is good news for those looking forward to sunshine and outdoor activities, it's important to be prepared for the potential impacts of these weather conditions. The extended periods of warm weather can be perfect for picnics, sports, and other recreational activities, but they also come with their own set of challenges. For example, the warmer temperatures and reduced rainfall may lead to an increased risk of wildfires in some areas, so it's essential to be cautious with fire safety. This means being mindful of local fire regulations, avoiding open flames in vulnerable areas, and ensuring that any outdoor fires are completely extinguished before leaving the site. Additionally, the lower than average precipitation could impact water resources, particularly in regions already experiencing drought conditions. This can affect not only drinking water supplies but also agricultural activities, leading to potential food shortages and increased prices. It's crucial for communities to implement water conservation measures and for individuals to be mindful of their water usage. To adapt to these changes, communities can invest in sustainable practices such as rainwater harvesting, efficient irrigation systems, and drought-resistant crops. On a personal level, installing water-saving devices in homes and being conscious of daily water use can make a significant difference. Local governments and organizations can also play a pivotal role by educating the public about the importance of water conservation and fire safety, and by implementing policies that support sustainable practices. Community involvement is key, and everyone can contribute by participating in local initiatives such as tree planting and community cleanup events. Education is another critical component. Schools and educational institutions can incorporate climate change and adaptation strategies into their curricula, helping to raise awareness among the younger generation. By understanding the challenges and learning how to adapt, we can better prepare for the future. In conclusion, while the warmer and drier spring of 2025 offers many opportunities for outdoor enjoyment, it's essential to stay informed and take proactive steps to mitigate the potential risks. By working together and adopting sustainable practices, we can ensure a safer and more resilient future for everyone. Section 8. Conclusion. Embracing the change. A warmer spring awaits. As we eagerly await the arrival of spring 2025, it's clear that a warmer and drier than average season is on the horizon for much of Europe. While this brings with it certain challenges, it also presents opportunities for enjoying the outdoors and embracing the beauty of nature's reawakening. By staying informed about the latest weather forecasts and taking appropriate precautions, we can make the most of the coming spring and all that it has to offer.